Hello and welcome back to a Kooky corner of YouTube where I'm going to show you what I've been up to. Okay, so the junk journal, junk journal January. I have not quite caught up, but I'll show you what I've got so far. So I've got my little list of prompts and I'll show you where we're up to. So I think I showed you up to day 3. Sure I did. Yeah. Okay, so up to day 3. Then it all goes a bit woohoo away because I wanted to put, the next one was tuck spot. And my tuck spot was going to be an envelope, but I wanted to put something else in as well, just because I do. So I put this quote by Frida Kahlo. Frida Kahlo is one of my favourite artists. And so we got nothing is absolute, everything changes, everything moves, everything revolves, everything flies and goes away. Everything can have beauty, even the worst horror. There is nothing more precious than laughter. It is strength to laugh and lose oneself, to be light. So I put collaged on the back there and added some painting and some gold stars. And I also had a little stitchy heart that I put on there as well. You can see that there. And then my tuck spot was this boy. This is for the oxpecker. And he's kind of tucked into that little envelope there. And a couple of stickers on there as well. I'm a magpie womble, indeed I am. And then next one was daily log. So I thought, if I was a bird, what kind of a daily log would I have? So I've gone a bit wayward here. So to do, squawk, peck, scratch a lot, worms must find, sit in puddle, men nest, peck, squawk louder, sleep. And another bird from Birbfest there. I've been posting these on Instagram, so if you want to see my daily updates on these, they go up daily and then they get fitted into my junk journal. Next one is just a bird, and I haven't finished anything on that side because that's going to be memory and I'm trying to figure out what I'm going to put there. Haven't finished that one yet. The next one was stitched, so I've got this little stitchy owl patch here that I'll put in and made it into kind of a pocket to slot in another bird, and that is the scarlet ibis. So he's going in there. And that is as far as I've got, because my next one is neutral. Well, I did put that bird in. That was for the day, so that's a king penguin. He's gone in there. But this side is going to be something neutral. Now, my neutral cannot ever be beige or fawn or, any of those colours. So my neutral is going to be black and white. Now I've just got to finish that one off yet. But I will catch up with that so that I'm back on track. Because being away for a few days kind of sets you off a bit. But that's where we're up to. That one on the back of there, I stuck one of my daughter's stickers of a robin, so he's gone on the back there. So I'm kind of doing the cover as I'm going along as well. So I'm really liking it at the minute. I'm liking how it's turning out. It's not pristine, it's not wonderful, but then junk journals are not meant to be, are they? They are what they are, and I think managing to fit in the Birbfest into this as well is the way to go. So loving that at the minute. So on to another desk. And this is the Kooky postcard sal. This is a January one that we're doing at the moment, and I thought I would show you a couple of examples of things that you could do. So let me move that out of the way. This is my box of tricks here. This is just little scraps of needle felting things. I'll show you that in a minute. The first thing I'm going to show you is this. So this is my stitched example of a postcard. Basically, I've gone with a nice cup of hot chocolate there. Loads of warm colours contrasted with a few cooler ones just to go. It makes those warm colours pop. but you can do whatever you like. It is totally up to you. So cozying it up can be a different thing from different people. So for me, it's a nice cup of hot chocolate, some glitzy sparkles. And this is done in the same way as the postcard tutorial that I've shown previously, where you lay down your background, stitch over the top, and then applique onto it. And I've just finished it off with some felt on the back there as well, so it's a little bit stiffer. Now, there are many ways you could do this. Absolutely, it's open to your own interpretation. As I said, the only rule is it's 6x4, which is kind of like a standardish postcard size. So the other thing you could do, and I'm going to show you here a very quick way of getting a background up if you're doing some needle felting. So that will be coming up now. Okay, so we start off with a basic piece of acrylic felt cut to the size of 6x4, and then out of my scrap box I am just needle felting little bits and bobs in my chosen colourway, just to cover the surface of the felt. You can go as thick or as thin or as crazy as you like with this, just add in bits wherever you want them to be and felt them in with your felting tools. And this will give you a really, really nice base to either do applique or embroidery on top of, but it will give you another dimension and more texture into your piece. So have fun with it. Just play around and see what you can come up with. So yeah, in there I just used scraps from my box. I had a piece of base felt which I cut from this. This is just acrylic, actually. It's just acrylic craft felt. You don't really need anything specifically great for a backing when you're needle felting for things like this, especially if you're going to back it again as well, because it's going to have plenty of strength to it. So, and it can take a lot of hammer, to be honest. You could see that I was just pouncing into it with my tools. I got this one, which is the 5 needle tool, and this one, which is the 3 needle tool. And they both work super well at getting back down fast. If you are lucky enough to have an embellishing machine, which I also have, but I couldn't be bothered to drag it out just for something small like this. But if you do, you can whack out a whole load of backgrounds within minutes, literally. So that's one way you could go, and then embellish into it. And what I mean by that is drag out all your threads. You can even use yarns, anything you've got that you can put through a needle, and you can do something like that. So this is the piece I was just showing you that I was doing the background of, and I have stitched into it really quickly. Added in some more like big French knots in a yarn. So I've got some yarn there, just ordinary double knitting yarn. I've put a little bit of a floofy piece up there. That's just a pom-pom that I made that I stitched onto the back. Really simple, bit of gold netting, because I kind of thought it looked a little bit like a honeycomb hive. Yeah, a honeycomb hive. What am I talking about? Honeycomb. And so when I'm having a cup of honey and lemon in the morning, which I generally tend to do in the January time, you know, it's kind of like a very soothing thing for your throat, and it just makes you feel good. So I always put a spoonful of honey in there, so it reminds me of that. And I've got sequins and beads, you know me. But you can go whichever way you fancy. You know, you do you, and it will always work out for you. But needle felting combined with embroidery, or you could just do purely needle felting. So for this one, I've gone more like picturesque, like it's got an actual thing that you can see on it. This is much more abstract. This is more like a feeling of cozy, if you know what I mean. You know, all the little pom-poms and floofs and things. And needle felting is very tactile. It's very, you know, it makes you feel quite cozy too. So those are just 2 examples of things that you could do for your sew along for January. As I say, the only rule is 6x4 in a size, and then go to town on any stitch. You could do quilting. I mean, this is just like a slow stitch version, but you could do an actual quilted with hexagons, or, you know, anything you like. It really is really truly up to you what you would like to do for that. And I've got a couple of entries coming already, which is beautiful. So I'm looking forward to seeing this. I've got one from Sue and one from Sylvia, and they are both beautiful. If you're on the Discord channel, you know, you can pop into the prompts and challenges room, and that's the Arty Farty group community channel. And they posted theirs in there. But also, if you want to show me on Instagram, you can tag me on Instagram and use that hashtag. So it's Kooky Postcard SAL, so Sal, Kooky Postcard SAL 2024. And if you want to put Jan on for that one, because that will then direct me to the fact that it was for the January entry. That would be super good. So that's it for this particular challenge. If you need any more knowledge about this at all, don't forget you can always message me in the box down below. Send me a message. I get back to everybody. I don't think there's anybody that I haven't replied to ever who has messaged me. So I do try and keep a tab on that and make sure I get back to anybody who sends me a question or just actually says hello. You know, it's just nice just to sort of connect with everybody. So I do hang out in the Discord channel. The description box will hold details of how you can get into there. There is also a Facebook group, which is now going to be a private Facebook group. But but both free, both easy to get into. Also on my page, I've got a Cool Kooky Creatures page on Facebook that you can contact me on. There's many ways. Private message me on Instagram. I am available for any, questions that you might have about anything at all to do with this. So do take advantage of me if you need to. Okay, so I have slightly cleared the decks. I can update you on the other thing that I'm doing for the whole of this year. It's another year-long project. Seem to be going for those at the moment. And this one is the 365 stitches. So it's 365 days of stitching, and you can put it into a hoop however you want it to be. This is a 12-inch or 30-centimetre hoop that I set up. And I have done my first selection of little motifs that are going to fill this section for January. So I put January at the top there. It's going to be the same all the way around for each month. And then there's going to be up to 31 different motifs that go into here. So you have to kind of be mindful of the size of what you're putting in there. So yeah, this is my first few days of January that I have kind of picked out something from the day and stitched it in. So today's is not in there yet, but I tend to leave it until the end of the day before I do one. If you want to see me stitching any of these, and by the way, stitching in motifs, I did Arty-Fartober, where I did one for every day of October. So if you look back in the channel, you can see they're all like 5 minutes long, but you can just see a speeded up version of me doing a motif. If you wanted to have a look at that, if you're interested in seeing how I just basically just get in there and stitch a motif. And the book that I used was the 365 stitches, which I showed previously on the channel. And I use that, and I also have a look on Pinterest, and sometimes I just draw my own, like this little robin here. I just did it, sort of drew it onto the canvas. Canvas, I'm talking fabric. This is a cotton fabric that this is on at the moment. And I've used like a water-soluble pen just to get my outline of the bird and just drew him in. That one, I was listening to some ska music at the weekend, and so we have got a little musical note there, and we have got the word ska. And you can fill in spaces with like little French knots and things if you want to. It really, again, is up to you what you put in there and which motifs you want to use. And there are so many ways of putting these together. If you do a check on Pinterest, or you look back onto my previous video about setting up your hoop and everything, you'll be able to see some examples from the book. So that's the hoop sorted out. We're cracking on, aren't we? We're getting on with it. And on to the last thing that I am up to this January and throughout the year. This one is probably going to stretch on longer than January. It's I'm taking part in Annie Claxton from Arty Farty Annie. I will leave description details in the description box down below. And she is doing Colour Inspirations Journal, which for quite a few of us from our Discord channel are working through at the moment. I am playing catch up because I was away for 4 days last week, so kind of got really nothing much done apart from doing my Birbfest drawings every day. So I'm playing catch up. So the first thing that we had to do is to gather some supplies. Well, I have got some supplies which are over there, but I had to make my my journal, because first of all my thought was to use this. This is an Indigo Art Way book, beautiful paper inside it, and I thought I would use that, but then I thought, no, actually I need something smaller. That's got quite a few pages in it. It's quite a chunky boy, and so I thought I want to do something where I can get things done on it, and it's going to be quite, not quick, but easier for me to catch up. And so to that end, I've made myself a little accordion book out of some cardi paper. Now the cardi paper I used, I used a sheet, just one sheet of A4 and it's 320 GSM cardie paper. So I cut that in half. Well, I didn't actually cut it in half. What I did was I ripped it in half because I wanted to keep this nice decollety kind of edge effect going on. And then just folded it into a small accordion, which is what I'm going to be using now. Other things I'm going to be using. I am going to be putting these on either end. So these are like little canvas panels that are going to go on either end, and I'm going to be decorating these up with my chosen colour, and putting a little tie there maybe so I can hold it all together. Maybe a tie at both ends. I don't know how it's going to work. I'll figure this out at some point. Yeah, it's probably going to be a wraparound tie that starts on either end of there. But these are all to be done. So this is my next task, is to catch up on this and to finish the junk journal. But this one is my main one for the next bit. I also have these little mandala things, which I thought, because if you hadn't guessed, my chosen colour is purple. It's kind of like a violet-y, purpley, in the family of kind of thing. So that's going to be my colour. And then in the middle of there, I've got about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pages that I can fill in. But also, when you flip it, I'm going to have about 4 pages in the middle. See, that's the join where I joined the 2 pieces together. So on those 4 at the back, I'll probably paint them up, but I've got these little mandalas that I've done in my chosen colourway that are going to sit on there and be decorated up in some way or whatever. How can anybody get bored? Seriously, there is so much to be doing. Really, I got so happy as well, because January is always, it's always an odd month for me. I don't, it's not like I don't like January. I love January, especially today where the sunshine, it's beautiful. But it's just so nice to have something that's going to power me through it, if you know what I mean. And the tasks that I've got on hand are definitely doing that. I'm going to be loving doing this journaling, the colour inspirations journal. This is just a small task. The first task is to put together a book of your colourway, the colour that you love the most, maybe. And so that's what I'm going to be doing pretty soon. So there'll be more on this coming up, hopefully next week, and maybe the end of this week. Who knows? I don't know. I've got lots of things on, and I've got lots of things I want to show you that are different from this as well. So we'll try and fit it all in, won't we? Anyway, that's enough from me. And so it's goodbye from me, and it's goodbye from Roy. Bye, Roy. Bye. See you. And we will both see you back here very soon with something else. Bye for now.